Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of BC Plus Live. I'm your host, Jeremiah W9JM, with my co host.
Jeremy, KD5, what you see?
All right. And today, we actually have a special show. This is the first responders episode. We actually have somebody who was on the ground during 9/11 that is joining us today, that's going to tell us about their experience, the things that they saw, and their experience with what happened with the communication systems and essentially how important radio became during that emergency, as well as other emergencies that they have been a part of, helping provide support and relief efforts, stuff like that. So, first of all, let's check in with Jeremy and see how he's doing tonight.
Hot. That's the only way I can say it. Hot.
Well, I can imagine with all the gear that you've got on and just getting off of work, and it's like, okay, now I can sit in front of the fan.
Yeah. Who said I'm off work?
Uh-oh. Well, if you got to go, let us know.
Well, if you just all of a sudden see the background, then you know kind of what happened.
Well, either that or somebody in the lobby of the police station throwing a conniption fit about their cat stuck in the tree.
Yeah, that's for the fire department.
I've actually seen that at the police station back where I lived in Indiana.
That wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, when somebody had stole my wallet and it had my learner's permit when I was learning how to drive. That was interesting, having to file a police report on a learner's permit.
Well, that's how it is down here. How about up there in your neck of the woods?
It's been kind of on the cool side. Just trying to keep from getting any sicker than I've been the last 2 weeks. So, wake up one time and it's like 49 degrees in your bedroom, and you realize that the windows were left open downstairs. Kind of does that.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody said that they're getting feedback on me.
I thought it was just my ears.
Just a second here. This.
Got a couple of them that are saying that
Okay.
slight echo, none here. Little feedback earlier.
Okay. Is anybody hearing the feedback now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to make sure that the microphone's working for you guys.
You've got a slight hum.
A slight hum. Okay. Is the hum gone now?
Hey, firm.
Okay. Let me show you what that hum was, because you're going to laugh.
A fan.
It was my USB chargeable fan.
Told you.
It was sitting next to the microphone stand. So I apologize for that, guys. But yeah, today's kind of a somber day because I realize that over 3,000 people have passed away because of what happened on September 11th, 2001. And that doesn't even take into account all the people who have died after that from, cancer or ailments from the dust and the pollution that was kicked up. And for me, it's a somber day because I remember exactly where I was when that happened. I had closed the night before at Domino's, and I got woke up to everybody in the house screaming at 8 o'clock in the morning about we're under attack, and I didn't know what was going on. So, Philip says, thought the power was going out on me. Nope. Nope, don't smoke. Doctors and x-rays can confirm that. Never smoked. Although I'm sure if I stay out in the sun too long in Palm Springs without sunscreen, there's a distinct possibility of that happening.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd probably end up like Jerry's shirt there.
Jerry's shirt.
Yeah, KQ4 BRJ.
Okay. 1 second here.
Now he's
Oh,
got a fine.
lobster. Okay. Lobster, but never floundered.
There you go.
And for everybody on YouTube, welcome. Wanted to say thank you for joining us tonight. So feel free to put in the chat where you guys were on 9/11 and what your memories were, because I know a lot of places don't talk about that now. They're like, well, it's in the past, we need to move on. But they have said several times over the years, if you don't remember history, you're doomed to repeat history. And we need to remember, the lives that were lost and what we can do. And also remember, with all the stuff that divides everybody now, we've got to remember first and foremost that we are all human beings and we all deserve to be here. Politics aside, we're not going to get into political debates. We are human beings first and foremost. That being said, we are also human beings who have multiple radios in some cases. Some of us, first time getting on a radio and got a DMR radio. Others of us had our license for, 10, 20, 30, 40 plus years and have a whole room that's dedicated to radios. And some of the people that may be watching on YouTube, maybe they're people that are thinking about getting into radio. For me, it was kind of the natural progression, going from a CB radio into ham radio. The biggest appeal was not having to listen to the CB radio Rambos that are constantly yelling and screaming and cussing and threatening each other out on the radio. Plus, if I had never gotten into ham radio, I wouldn't be here now to help you guys when you're having issues with DMR. So, all right. So if it's okay, I'm going to take and pull up a couple of the BC Plus members, so they can, share their experience. Dr. Greg, if it's okay, I will go ahead and pull you up here.
Yep, I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
For anybody who doesn't know Dr. Greg, Alpha India 5 Hotel Victor, he is the resident Excel expert. He has taught me some things that I didn't know, and has made my life so much easier when I've been helping people with code plug issues and converting code plugs from their current radio to their new radio. So thank you again for helping with that.
You're very welcome. Glad to help.
So, Greg, where were you at on September 11th, and how has radio played a part in your life before and after that?
Well, the morning that happened, I was scheduled to be on the American airline flight that hit the North Tower.
Oh, wow.
And I was traveling all over the United States at that time, and for whatever reason, the project I was on, I decided to take a midnight flight back, and that was the first time I'd ever done that. And so I took a midnight flight back. I literally got home at early hours in the morning. The following morning, my wife and I were at Burger King for breakfast and got a phone call from my wife's mother and said, asking where I was at. And she said, well, Judy said, well, he's right here with me. Why? And because at that point we hadn't heard anything. So then we went home and of course heard the news, and, saw the news. And so I remember I put a VHS tape in the video cassette recorder and recorded as long as that tape would run, recorded that. And then I was, spent the next several weeks trying to figure out how to get back to the project that I was working on in that area. Right. And so I ended up, it was 6 weeks to the day before I managed to get back to New York City. And I was within ground zero of about less than half a mile of ground zero. And I can still remember 6 weeks later, the pile of rubble that was there, and you could still smell the smoke and the jet fuel burning at that time from what had happened. And it was just, it just left. And what was even stranger is they had shops along some of the streets that were leading up to the back side of it. And they had it all where you couldn't go into shops, of course. But what was strange was you walk along the sidewalk and you'd see what looked like smoke or, black residue all over the glass. And you could see things tousled about on the shelves in the shops. And it was just kind of laying there in the floor. And obviously it was from, near as I could tell, it was from the percussion of the blast itself, right, that caused those things to fall off the shelf. So, but I got started in radio. I wanted to learn more about radio and more from a preparedness standpoint. And so I bought a couple of Baofangs. This is about 2014, 2015, but I actually didn't get my license until years later. And since then, of course, I've joined ARES and definitely involved in a lot of public service events, that type of thing, and just helping to support several different amateur radio clubs in the immediate area. There's 4 that I'm directly involved with, and others that I support. I compile information about VE testing sessions, stuff like that. I publish it out on. There's about 12 amateur radio clubs in the area, in the greater Northeast Oklahoma area, that I publish that information for them on their Facebook pages, so they can get it out to the people that are seeing their Facebook groups. But and then I've built a master code plug for the Tulsa ARES organization, and I've been sharing that with. There's about 150 hams in these groups total that I've been sharing that code plug with, and trying to get it converted over to some of the other code plugs, like the radios you mentioned earlier. We're doing some testing on those now. And anyway, that event definitely changed my life. My wife later told me that she'd had a dream that night that I was in a plane that crashed. It was before I got back home, but she'd had a dream that I was in a plane that crashed into the tower. And she didn't tell me that until weeks later.
Oh, wow.
So that was, I don't know why, but God's got me here for a reason.
Well, I think part of that reason is because you have a story to tell. And also, for me, I think part of the reason is because you got involved with helping different groups be able to set up communications to help in emergency.
Yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
But I know all of us with BC Plus definitely appreciate everything that you've done to help during live shows and the presentations you've done in the past for us. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And I will go ahead and let you return back to the regular group. And we actually have somebody that I didn't get a chance to send out the email for to let people know that they were going to be on the show. But we actually have somebody who actually was in New York during that. So give me just a second. Okay, John, I hit the button for it to unmute you.
Got it.
Hello, John. Call sign is Kilo Juliet 5, Mike Charlie Bravo. Welcome to the show. And
Thank you.
well, we are glad to have you. I know that you had saw what the show title was, and you had sent me an email asking about being involved with it. So thank you for reaching out. And first of all, from the conversation that we had earlier, I want to go ahead and say thank you for your service, for what you did in the military, as well as what you did to help with 9/11, and give you a chance to share your story of everything that you saw and everything that you were involved with, and everything that you saw revolve around, how radios became so important during that. So the floor is yours, John.
All right. Well, thank you. Good afternoon. And actually, good evening, everybody. My name is John Velos, Kilo Juliet 5, Mike Charlie Bravo. Um, I was, in fact, in New York City during that time. I was a member of the Marine Corps, and I had just finished. I was an instructor for the NCO Academy for the non-commissioned officer, and I was a reservist. So I remember having my gear and my uniform in the back of my truck, my vehicle, and I was heading to work. And as I was heading out to work that day, I lived in Staten Island, and I was going towards Jersey, and first plane hit. And in New York City, it was very common to have accidents, small planes, helicopters, and things like that hitting on the towers. Not specifically the Ground Zero, the Wall Street towers, but other buildings. So I didn't think it was a big thing. I thought it was another accident. However, as I'm driving and crossing from New York to Jersey, the second plane flies right above me, and as I'm watching it, everything just became slow motion. And as I'm watching that plane, um, I followed it through with my eyes, and everything was just like the Matrix, very slow. As I'm watching it, and it's heading towards the second tower, and it hits the second tower right in front of me. And
Oh, wow.
at that point, I knew that we were under attack, that it was no coincidence. How could two planes hit two buildings that were right next to each other? And the way it was flying and the way it was maneuvering, it almost felt like it was about to land on top of my vehicle. That's how low it was going. So I immediately went from Jersey back into Manhattan. I reported to the armory and I said, "Look, I'm a Marine. I have my uniform here. I know we're in attack. What can I do?" As I'm reporting to the armory, I'm in contact with a friend of mine who is a fire department, who was also an instructor with me, a Marine, fellow Marine. And I get on the phone with him, and he says, "Yes, this is not nothing. This is not an accident." So my unit is reporting, and I told him, "All right, I'll see you in a bit. I'm on my way." And here we are. We get in the vehicle in the van, and as we're driving to respond, we're going against traffic because all the cars, all the people were trying to exit downtown Manhattan as I'm heading towards downtown. And obviously, it was very difficult to get there as fast as I could. However, I got there, and as soon as I got out of that van, um, building collapsed right in front of me. And I got covered with all the white smoke, and everything turned pitch black right in front of me. So I was like, did I die? Or I couldn't see anything. It was so pitch black. Um, but eventually, once everything came back, we rushed in there, try to rescue and save people and get them out of the way as quick as we could. But it was so hot. The area, we had the fire department, and we had everybody, trying to get people out. Fire department was pouring water on top of the beams, and our shoes. I remember my boots sticking to the ground because it was so hot. The beams, even though the water was pouring in those beams, the my shoes were just sticking to the ground. So I knew that chances of us trying to find someone or rescue them were going to be very, very slim. Um, Cell phones signals were gone. There was no way to communicate. So our base of communications at that point were just our radios communicating and trying to get there and move around and set up perimeter and do all the stuff there. So I spent several months there in ground zero, and towards the end of our recovery efforts, um, we collected all those pictures, photos, um, you know, letters, flowers, flags, and we turned it into what is now called the Ground Zero Museum. So all that is we we turned it in, and that's what's there now. Um, well, that is there. I met a lot of people that were federal agents, and that turned me in to become a federal agent, and immediately joined and became a federal law enforcement. I joined the agency, and I recently retired after 21 years of service for the federal government. While I was in the law enforcement, I also had um, I was in charge of the several special response teams, and they responded to Katrina. So we had also the experience of learning how to do those radios in Katrina. We had here, I'm from now, I'm in El Paso, Texas, and we've had to use our phones for several, not our phones, our radios came out really handy, really quick, in a lot of operations. So like I said, I recently retired, and I said, well, I need to have some type of communication because I know what it is to be in a high emergency situation and not have any signal. So I immediately started to inquire about how do I get myself a radio because I am now retired, and how do I now get a radio? So I started to do some research, and I was able to get my radio. But then once I bought it, I found out, well, I can't use it unless I have a license. And I'm like, oh man. So I studied, and I recently got my license, and I'm still learning. I'm still going through a lot of the stuff, still trying to figure out. I was able to follow a lot of the videos and program my radio and my hotspot and all that stuff. I have a handheld and I have a mobile radio. So no matter where I go, I have signal, and it always comes handy as a law enforcement, as a family. For my kids, my family. When we go out, we go camping. Radio is very crucial, very important for any type of situation that we get involved in. If there's no signals, you can communicate, and I can reach out to someone somewhere. Um, and that's the beauty of it. So. Um, I always say, and sometimes I question, why am I still here? Today's it's special, a very difficult day for me because I lost my brother in the Marine, the fire member that went up that building that I told him I was about to meet him. Died in that building that collapsed. If I wouldn't have been stopped, I would have been in that building myself, going up there. So I always have that against me, and I wish I was there with him, and I would have been there. But there's a reason why I was left behind, and I feel that through my time here. I'm able to serve and help out on the law enforcement side of it. Been able to arrest a lot of high profile criminals that arrest danger to the community and put them away. Um, so I feel that something was meant for me to stay behind. And thank God I do get checked every year to make sure that I see if any diseases, cancers on my lungs or anything like that. I was awarded a New York State medal, and thank God so far, knock on wood, I have not tested positive for cancer in my lungs or anything like that. So I take it day to day, and just glad to be here. And if I can help anybody, I'm here. So Simplify Devil Dogs. I see a lot of those messages there. I'm here, and my law enforcement brothers, be safe and take care, everybody. But it's a pleasure to be a part of this community and this group. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you, thank you, and as always, round of applause and stay frosty, brother. Well,
Thank
I
you.
noticed quite a few of them are starting to go ahead and kind of follow suit. For those that haven't, go ahead and in the comments, uh, drop your rate and rank and what's branch of service.
Now, um, I didn't know about the other part because we hadn't got into that earlier when we were talking. So, thank you again for your service. Thank you for being here and telling your story. And thank you for everything you did to help with the recovery efforts, not only on 9/11, but also during Katrina. Because it's the people who step up in those situations that become the heroes, no matter how small they think their role is. You're a hero to somebody that is down on their knees. They don't know what to do. And you're the one that they see that is helping. And it's that visual that encourages other people to get involved and to help. No matter how small the role might seem, it's being able to take and see somebody stepping up that encourages others to step up in a time of need. And with, amateur radio, we've got the Amateur Radio Emergency Services Group. We've got the Community Emergency Response Team, C.E.R.T. We've got search and rescue groups. We've got, firefighters, EMS, paramedics, doctors, nurses. Every one of those groups and professions is important. And anybody who wants to argue that a doctor or a nurse is not a first responder and is not as important as a firefighter, EMS, or paramedic, or anybody in the military, do myself a favor, or do me a favor, I should say. Take and kick the coffee table as hard as you can without your shoe on. Because that comment is very painful to hear somebody say about anybody who is a first responder. We had doctors and firefighters, EMS, paramedics, police officers, and regular civilians who all stepped up during 9/11 and did everything they could to try and rescue people, digging through rubble with their hands. And then during, natural disaster emergencies, California wildfires, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, people that come out of the woodwork because they want to help. And for all of them, it's that difference between wanting to help and standing back and watching. It goes back to the phrase, there's two kinds of people, those who make things happen and those who watch things happen. And of course, there's that third group of people that wonder what the heck just happened. If you have the chance to be one of those people that makes things happen, do that. If all you can do is, take notes and provide a recount of the story for future generations to learn from, do that. But don't think that you're not important in your own story and somebody else's story. Because if 9/11 taught us anything, it was everybody is important. Everybody has a role to play in an emergency. So I know I kind of jumped on the high horse there a little bit. Sorry, guys.
Whoa. Start pulling them back now.
Yeah, I know. I kind of feel sorry for that horse that his back's got to be killing him.
Oh, I got to give warning. KC7ND, my hat is off to you, sir. Most definitely said that he was with the Bureau of Prisons. I'll put him in there and babysit him. You've got a lot more patience than I, sir.
Yes. And to everybody who is a BC Plus member who has been posting their rank, service, and, all of, I'm dropping the word I'm trying to say here. Sorry. Specialty or part of the military that you were in. Thank you for your service. You guys are the ones that keep us safe. You guys are the ones that go out on a limb, risk your life for all of us at home. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything that you guys do. As far as any fire, EMS, ARES, C.E.R.T, doctors, nurses, thank you for everything you guys do as well. Because you guys step up in the emergencies as well. Because let's face it, if there's a bad accident on the interstate, who's the people that's saving the lives? The police and fire and EMS are getting people to the hospitals, and then the doctors and the nurses take over. So it's a team effort. And we've got to remember that we are all part of a giant team. We may have disagreements, but
one thing I would add to your list, and a lot of people overlook them, but private security people. My hat's off to y'all too. I count y'all up here with first responders frontline. Even though y'all sit back, report, and watch, that way I know what I'm going into when I get there. So thank you.
Yes. I hadn't thought about that before, but I definitely see what you're talking about now. So yes, definitely that too. So I haven't seen any comments on YouTube, any questions on YouTube. So, does anybody have a particular story in the audience that you would like to share of how you used radio in an emergency? Just go ahead and click the raise hand on the bottom of Zoom if you're on your computer, and we will call on you. And don't be shy. I know a lot of people don't like talking on camera or on microphone, but if you provided some kind of support or relief effort, now's a great time to tell your story and why it was important to you to do that. So,
all I'm hearing is crickets.
you knew I had that file ready.
I knew you had that button cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
Yeah. If I seem a little more disorganized than normal, guys, I apologize. This past weekend, We had torrential rains, and when I got up Sunday morning, part of the ceiling above my computer had started leaking water onto my computer desk. There was a giant puddle on my desk, and somehow it had missed all of the electronics. It hit the one spot on the desk where the electronics weren't at.
That was sheer luck.
No
Sheer
kidding.
luck. I'm going to agree with Dave Groh there.
Yeah. Because, like, if it had been, like, maybe another 6 inches to the left, it would have taken out the 878, the 578, the FT3D, the Kenwood THD 74, as well as the 168.
Well, looking at the comments here with the BC Plus members, WA4VGZ made a very, very good statement. And do not forget the spouses of those who served and who are serving.
Yes. Specifically them, because they're the ones who provide the support when somebody gets home or needs someone to talk to, and they're saying, I don't know how I'm going to keep doing this. And it's their spouse that reminds them, you can do this. You've got me to help you get through this.
Yep.
So do not forget the spouses of those people either.
Most definitely.
Well, I know that you had previously had a request for somebody, and I'm going to go ahead and call on that person. And let me find him on my list here.
Shuffle the deck.
Hi, Larry, you're up.
Go ahead.
We had been talking earlier before the meeting, and you had told me that you had found something for somebody.
Yes, sir. Hang on just a second, get rid of that. And, we've been, somebody has been very instrumental in a BC Plus. They've been around for a long time. He is a first responder. And he asked me to, when I go to a Hamfest, to find him a 710. Well, boys and girls, I found him the 710. And yeah, that's him. KD5YUZ. Yeah, I got him a radio. And he's in Oklahoma. I'm in Oklahoma. All we got to do is meet up now
An
and
hour and
make it happen.
45-minute drive.
That's right. But he's working all the time and I'm working all the time. But one of these days, I've got that 710 sitting in my pickup truck ready to make that trip. And we thank you very much for being a first responder and doing what you do. I appreciate you so much.
No worries, no worries, no worries. And thank you once again, sir. I have had that fiend for that HF. I got that itch I can't get rid of. For those that don't know, I've been doing BC Plus since it was first created, back when I was a full-time employee for BridgeCom. And I've loved every minute of it. When we first started, it was Daniel and Adam. They were on the camera. I was in the back fielding questions on the YouTube side. That way they could answer them and stuff like that. Turned around, and after doing that for about 6 months, Daniel thought it was funny to throw me up on the camera. Been here ever since. When I parted ways with BridgeCom, started back in my profession, and saw Jeremiah on every now and again, and he'd always say, hey, we're having a show tonight, would you like to join? Jumped in, been here, love every minute of it. I've made a lot of friends through here. Some of y'all have actually been on ride-ons or ride-outs with me while I've been on shift in the middle of the show. I hide. And it makes it look throughout the week a little bit better. Can't wait till Thursday night to see my buddies. And Miss
Oh.
Carol, you're in that group too. I know you're up there in Alaska, but you're still within that group.
Well,
And Mr. Larry, once again, I can't thank you enough, sir.
My pleasure. All we got to do is get together now.
and make sure that his antenna is set up at home.
Oh, my antenna
Well,
stays up.
Yep.
It's been up.
Well, I also picked up a 991A for myself. And now I got to build antennas for it and start stringing them across this property. Oh, yeah. Somebody's real excited about that.
Must
Well,
be Mrs.
Larry, at least you're starting from a clean slate to get the antennas hung up. Because my antenna in the backyard, while it is hung up and I've got more than enough coax, I made the mistake of using the wire that holds, or the rope that holds the antenna in place, because it's a half-wave end-fed dipole, to hold the extra lengths of coax. So now everything is kind of stuck together. So I'm going to have to take it down and restring it back up just to be able to take and get the extra coax out of that giant loop of coax to be able to move the antenna into where my computer is now. So just goes to show a little forward thinking can save you from having that 2020 hindsight moment later. Because I got a feeling I'm going to end up dropping that balun on that antenna right on my head when I go to take that down. And that's going to hurt.
Hey, it's a self-correcting problem, though. You'll
Yeah.
only do it once.
Mm-hmm. Half tempted to order a hard hat off Amazon just for that particular scenario.
You could always get one of those. She's a YouTuber, goes around the ham fests, and she always got an antenna in her hair on a hard hat. They're working antennas, mind you. And I can't remember her name.
I know who you're talking about because I saw her at Hamvention as well as a few other people. One guy was referred to as the porcupine because he had so many antennas sticking out of his backpack that I'm like, did he just stick all those antennas in there, or does he actually have a radio connected to each one of those antennas?
Yeah, I was watching. I saw her post on, I think it was Facebook or Instagram, and she said that's an operating antenna, and on the back side had the coax coming out of it.
Oh, wow. My only concern with that would be the RF exposure.
Yeah.
Speaking of RF exposure and radio-related stuff, for those who didn't know, there's a company called DigiRig that makes a device that they actually have cables that work with the Anytone 878 as well as the 578 now, to be able to connect it to your computer or a Raspberry Pi to control the radio. I actually have both of the cables that come with the DigiRig for the hooking it up to different radios, as well as, and let me reach over here to grab it if I can do this without knocking everything over on that side of the desk.
Bang, boom.
Come on. This is actually the cable that plugs into the 578 that they actually have now. And there's the other end of it. And here is actually the DigiRig. It's basically a USB-C, and Dr. Greg showing it off on his end too. It basically does kind of act like a sound card TNC for the radio, is the best way that I can describe it. I'm sure there's a better way to describe it. And in all honesty, I haven't even used this with the 578 yet. I finally remembered where the cable was. because I was going to set it up and then I moved everything. So that will be a project to work on. Also, if you're wanting to build your own digipeater or iGate, there's a couple of things that you can do. One of them is if you want to do a SDR version that just receives, you can get a Raspberry Pi and one of these RTL SDR devices off Amazon. Make sure you have the correct one, because there's several knockoffs on Amazon. And use that with a Raspberry Pi and some software. You will have to teach yourself some Linux if you don't know Linux. So think MS-DOS. And if you don't remember MS-DOS, well, you're either too young or remembered how to program too many radios since then and tossed the MS-DOS stuff out of your memory bank. As far as I know, there is no Python, although I do have a Python script that lets me take the programming file for my personal hotspot that I built and convert it over to different screen types. So if I can't get the Nexian screen, but I can get the really cheap one off of like Temu or AliExpress, then I can convert that file over and make it work. The other thing is with the DigiRig and one of these cables and a Raspberry Pi, you can actually use like a Baofeng or even an Anytone with that same software for the RTL SDR to use the radio as a actual digipeater. So it'll key it up and transmit APRS out. Haven't gotten there yet. I just found the article on that probably 2 days ago. So that's one of my things for probably the weekend to look into.
We need to talk Saturday.
Uh-oh. I already told you my Powerball ticket didn't win.
I've already got it running.
Okay. I will go ahead and make a Zoom meeting for 3:30 for Saturday.
Sounds good to me.
And your normal email, Jeremy?
That'll work. Yeah, I saw it and I was like, I think I can do that. And so I walked through it and I beat George, it working.
All right. And just a reminder for everybody, there's 10 minutes left for the drawing for the BC Plus members, and tonight's prize is an 878. So if you haven't entered already, make sure you enter.
And for those that out and about, Dr. Greg has also published a video on setting up the DigiRig to the 878 UV2 Plus and the 578 UV3 Plus. I followed it, got it set up, so if I can do it, just about anybody else can, because when it comes to that side of the radio, I'm kind of slow, to put it lightly.
Well, there's two ways to fix that. Practice, 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 or latte, latte, latte.
Mm-mm.
The problem is when you go to solder something and your hand's doing one of these numbers is because of the caffeine.
For the jarheads in here, they'll understand I need a good cup of mud.
Sean, to answer your question, it should be the same process for the 168. Dr. Greg can probably clarify on that. But I would think because it's using the audio from the mic and speaker jack on the 878 and the connector is the same on the 168, that it should work. Yeah, so the 868, the 168, and the 878 would all be the same for the setup. And give me 1 second. I'm going to post that. Here is Dr.
He's already got it posted.
I'm posting it in the YouTube chat.
Oh, okay. Well, you said post it, and I'm like, it's already here.
All right.
Yes, Dr. Greg's channel is very intuitive and very educational. I followed quite a few of them.
And recently received an update about something that I didn't realize. If you have the local, I'm trying to remember the exact name of it. It's the GPS setting on your phone or tablet turned off, and you're trying to do the BT or the Bluetooth update on your 878 or 578, and it can't find the radio when it scans Bluetooth. It's because the settings are not correct. For some reason, the Bluetooth has to have the GPS fully accessible to be able to find your radio. So I will be making an updated video for my YouTube channel on that using my tablet as well. So just a heads up on that, because that is something that I didn't know, because I always had it set as everything turned on for that app. But somebody else, Dwayne N60MR, informed me that, hey, that actually needs to have this turned on, otherwise it will never find it. And you'll be thinking the Bluetooth is bad on your radio or your phone. Ben, to answer your question, you just have to click on the link for the drawing and put in your name, your email, your call sign, and how long you've been a BC Plus member. And, just answer the questions on the entry. If it gives you an error saying that you've entered too many times, what you can do is actually go into incognito mode in your web browser and paste the link in there, and that should let it work then. Usually it's a cache issue on the web browser. Juan, there are no updates at this time. No updates on the Skybridge at this time either. I do have let me see. Jeremy, which thing? Yeah, that's, yeah. So you've got roughly 4.5 minutes left to enter the BC Plus drawing if you're a BC Plus member. And Dan, I concur with that. When I lived in Daytona Beach when I was 17, well, Port Orange, I had actually won tickets to a concert, and then the next week they started giving away the tickets for the country artists I actually wanted to see. The one that I won the tickets for, I wanted to see, but not as bad as the other one. Because let's face it, Tina Carter, Reba McEntire. Yeah, I'm picking Reba if I've got the choice. No offense, Tina. But yeah, one of the queens of country versus, just regular country performer, got to go with the queen of country. And you would actually be surprised how many amateur radio operators are actually people in the music industry. One of them, oh Lord, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Jeremy, you know this one. I know Patty Loveless is one of them. Ronnie Millsap, that's the one I was thinking of. Joe Walsh, Ronnie Millsap, Patty Loveless. They're amateur radio operators. Walter Cronkite was an amateur radio operator. Then you've got Tim Allen as an amateur radio operator. So TV, not exactly amateur radio related, but did find out something I didn't know. One of the video games that I used to play all the time when I got off work doing Uber before I joined BridgeCom, World of Warcraft, did not know that Henry Cavill actually plays World of Warcraft and continues to play it. So, yeah, that was interesting to find out. Excuse me. All right. So, and it looks like Clint is now watching on YouTube. So, hi, Clint, and hi, Pamela. I'll go ahead and get the BC Plus drawing pulled up here. Got 90 seconds.
Tick, 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 tick.
Did not know about Priscilla Presley.
I was unsure of that one. I thought she was, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. That kind of makes me wonder if she was the only one or if she had tried to talk Elvis into it too. Because that would have been cool. So 50 seconds left to enter to win an 878. Now, if you've got the 168, but you don't have the 878, and you're wanting to take and copy your existing code plug over to the 878, make sure that if you win, you send me a support ticket so I can help you with that, because there's a few things that need to be done for that to work smoothly. So just a heads up on that. T-minus 20 seconds and counting.
Deet, deet, deet. Uh-oh, looks like WM3Q might have got in trouble.
WM3Q.
I saw the missus in there. Looked like she was kind of chewing on him a little bit in the background.
Uh-oh. All right. So give me just a moment here, and let's find out who our winner for the 878 is tonight. So good luck to everybody. All right. No way. Hold on a second. I got to see when the last time. I know this person's won before. And when they won, they actually gave away their prize to somebody else that needed it more than they did. So this may be karma coming back to reward them for doing that. Yep. All right. So let's see if he's still here. Yep, Trouble's still here. N4 DAL. You are tonight's winner.
King Trouble is in the house.
Hey, Daniel.
How you doing?
So I thought that you had won this year already, but you haven't even won this year. So you are completely eligible. So you are tonight's winner of an 878 UV2 Plus.
Nice. I'll take it. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
All right. And that will come with the USB-C rechargeable battery.
Nice.
So you'll be able to use a USB-C cable to charge the battery on that on the go. So you won't have to, find a way to plug one of these in your car.
Nice. Nice. Very nice. Thanks, everybody.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
And again, to all of the first responders, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for the lives that you have saved, the lives that you will save, and the help that you give all of our communities. We greatly appreciate everything that you do. So again, thank you so much. And for BridgeCom Systems and BC Plus, I'm Jeremiah, W9JEM, with my co-host,
Jeremy, K85, YUZ.
73s.
Great show. Great show.
For some reason, it